What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Truth be told, I made a 20-minute video already. The mic was off, and yeah, well, it wasn't off actually. OBS was messed up, but that's okay. I'm gonna get rid of this thing because it's too damn hot. Oh, that's so much better. Okay, let's get into it here. All right, so we're at about $81,500. We just took out this low. What I was saying in my other video, this video will probably be shorter because I already know what I want to say, is that we're going down, guys. We're going down. We're going to go down to, and I think that today might be the day that we find resolution. Yes, today. We're at 81.4K. What do you mean resolution, C-Zar? You're talking about the price going down to 72K, 71K. You surely don't mean that we're going to drop all the way down here by the end of today. Surely I do. And maybe it's not by the end of today. Maybe it's most of today we drop and some of tomorrow we drop, but I think that within the next like 36 48 hours, yes, we're going to find resolution to the downside. I believe that we're going to see prices around 74K to 69K, likely somewhere between 72 to 71K. That's my personal target area, but on a more broad basis, 74 to 69. 71 to 72 is my specific target. I think that's where we're going. Who cares? You know, we could go lower. We could find support a little bit higher, but it doesn't make sense that this is the low. Now, I will say there's a scenario, and it's a low likely scenario at this point. When I was making my video earlier, it was actually before this drop happened, so I was like, there's a scenario where this double bottom could happen and we move up. And maybe we still do. This could be some kind of fake out to the downside. There's not a whole lot of volume on this 4-hour candle. We still have 3 hours and 17 minutes left, so you have to wait for the candle close. It's very possible that we still could snap back from here and see prices all the way up at like 85,000, 86,500, somewhere in that zone. If we see a move today that takes us up there, and I don't think we do, but if we do, don't get too excited, right? The price area that we need to break above right now is about 88,000. If you can get above about 88,000 on a daily closing basis, then it's time to get a little excited that the low might be in. We get above 96K, 96.5K, that's whenever it's time to really celebrate, because then we validated this as a low. But until then, the notion remains that we are going lower. I very much do believe we're going lower, and there's something that I want to address, right? Talking about lows. If we go back here, we look on a daily basis. We go back to this range, this very long fought range from March of 2024 until August is when we found the low. If you notice something, is that we had some pretty decent drops throughout the way, right? Some wicks and stuff like that, some rapid recoveries. But the biggest drop that we saw was this flash crash, which happened to be the low. The low of the whole move was on this flash crash here, right? That's how Bitcoin likes to do it. It likes to test you. If you're not worthy, you're going to get freaked out. You're going to panic sell. There was some negative news coming out here. I don't even remember what the negative news was, but I'm sure some people do, or I'm sure most of you don't. And that's the whole point. It's nothing. The news is going to mess with you. There's probably all kinds of negative narratives. The bull market's dead, blah, blah, blah. Are we wrong? Like, is this bad? It might have been the Japanese yen thing, the inflation. I don't know. It might have been something, or what was it? What's it called? I can't even remember, man. It was like everybody knew about it, and maybe that's not what it was back then. But all I'm trying to say is whatever the narrative was, who cares, right? Just like now, whenever we go down, and we will go down to, and I think we'll go down at least, whenever we go down to that 72 to 71K area, there's going to be a lot of negative news at the bottom. You're going to see people running around with their heads like chickens with their heads chopped off on X.com, on YouTube, people who are confused because they thought this was the low. You're going to see a lot of panic in the markets, right? Probably more panic than most. Hopefully the veterans, the people who've been here, they remain calm. They provide some good guidance, or at least their opinions are not based in emotion. That's what I hope for. But you never know, man. There's always those even big accounts, even really even very successful and knowledgeable and intelligent traders can get emotional at times. It happens. It really does. We're human beings. We can get emotional at times, especially if you're holding on to this really, really hard, man. The harder that you hold on to it, like it needs to fit this narrative that I've painted in my head. Otherwise, the bull market's screwed. That can mess with you, man. And the thing is, we're prepared for this. We're prepared for a $70,000 price, 72K, even below there. It could go below 69K, which I don't think we even go below 71K really, but if it does, it's fine. It's totally fine. But the main purpose of this video, guys, is I think it's happening today. I think this is the day that we've been waiting for. This is D-Day. Tomorrow. I'm not trying to offend anybody by comparing it to D-Day. I just mean like this is a big deal. I think this is going to be a big deal because this is going to provide resolution from something that started all the way back on January 20th. when Donald Trump was inaugurated, right? Literally all the way back here. The top of the market so far is when Donald Trump was inaugurated. A lot of people think that the bear market has begun. Not a lot of the veterans in crypto, if you notice, like a lot of the big accounts, that obviously like way bigger accounts than me, that have been around for as long as I have, if not longer than I have, for their third bull cycle, fourth bull cycle, or longer. None of them are worried. They're all very aware that we're in a bull market. I think Arthur Hayes is the only one who thinks that we're in a bear market, or maybe not. He did think we were in a bear market back here, and then we moved up, and now I think he thinks we're in a bull market. I'm not entirely sure. I forget, but Arthur Hayes, even though he's a veteran, he's not always right. By the way, he's a better businessman. Well, maybe not than he is a market speculator. But he is intelligent. He's very intelligent. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to just diss on Arthur Hayes here, but don't treat, that's the whole point. Don't treat everything that you hear online as some kind of fact, okay? As like it's some kind of thing that is real, because you're going to hear a lot of things down at these lows. You're going to hear probably a lot of things over the next 36 to 48 hours that are going to scare you, that are going to be negative, that are going to paint this story like you were dumb or silly or absolutely moronic forever investing in cryptocurrency. It's a total scam. And that's just not true. None of the fundamentals have changed for the worse over the past year. They've only gotten better. Specifically over the past 3 months, they've only gotten better. And here we are dropping. The only people selling right now are people who are using their emotions to make investment decisions. If you have a person who invests based on emotion, and you have a person who invests based on logic and based on statistics, who do you think is going to, not even that. Someone invests based on emotion, someone invests not based on emotion. Who's going to succeed? Right? Who's going to succeed? Not the emotional investor. But with that in mind, there's going to be emotions to the downside. If we do snap back today, and I'm not calling for this, but it could happen. It's something I want to make you aware of. If we do snap back to 86K, 86.5K today, we're still destined to go down. I mean, at least I think we are, until we close above 88K on a daily basis, not on an hourly basis, not on a 4-hour basis, but on a daily basis. Until we close above there on a daily basis, I'm not convinced that we're doing anything but going lower. Okay, that's just my genuine perspective. And here we are actually going lower. We're at the lows of the day. I wondered, what on a 4-hour basis, have we picked up any volume? A little bit. We got 3 hours left. We'll see. 3 hours left. The thing is, we're only down 1.2% right now. 3 hours left. We could reverse this and close green. So if we get above, if the price does get above about 83.5K, 83.6K, if we get there, we likely won't stop until 86 to 86.5. So even if this happens, talking about checking your emotions, don't get too euphoric, right? Don't just be like, ha, this guy sucks. He was wrong. He thought it was going to go down. Such a dumbass, whatever, Finding resistance at prior areas of support is nothing to get excited for, right? Invalidate me if you want to start celebrating. Get above 88K on a daily basis. Close above there. Then we can all have laughs. Then I'll be like, what was I thinking? We were going to go below there? Whatever. We're going to the moon, man. This is Bitcoin. It's unstoppable. And it is unstoppable. It is going to go to the moon. All of these things are going to happen. But first, I think we go lower, right? We go back. We go all the way back. All the way back to August, right? August here at the lows. And you see this flash crash here. This took from basically the beginning of this. This was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 4-hour periods. That's a 20-hour period, and you saw a 19% drop. The drop I'm calling for is less than 19%. We could see this happen in less than a day. And then it snapped back rather immediately, right? You were down at this area. You came back up a little bit. You came down. You wicked down again, and you probably scared people thinking that we were going to go lower. You gave a lot of people the opportunity to sell and panic down here, and then for literally like 12 hours, and then boom, moved up. And when did that happen? Actually, that was at the beginning of the day. So that would have been like 5 o'clock Mountain Time, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 3 o'clock Pacific Time. So a lot of the United States people, especially like at that time of day, they're home, they're off work, or it's like that slow time of the day, unless you're working at a restaurant. They're probably watching this and panicking, man, panicking hardcore, right? And I'm not just saying that the American market is the only market that matters, but on the Western Hemisphere, there's a lot of people that were probably panic selling. Would that be? I guess at that time, you also have China waking up too, don't you? At like 7 o'clock. It'd be 5 o'clock, maybe not, maybe a few hours later. But even then, a few hours later, or like 8 hours later, here you go. You've got the Eastern Hemisphere waking up as well at these lows. You got the whole damn planet panicking. They're all waking up or winding down whatever they're available to trade. They're at their homes, and with that 12-hour period, you probably had a lot of people panicking. But that's not the main. That's just me talking out loud. I don't know how much of that's true or not, but it kind of makes sense. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. All I'm trying to say is, if you notice this drop here, which was the low, August 5th, that was the low of this prolonged consolidation phase that we had since March, right? That low right there, that was a flash crash. The low of the move was a flash crash, and then we started to recover, right? It wasn't immediately. We moved sideways for a little bit, but then we moved up. We go back here, not really a flash crash here. You kind of had it at first. It's not always this way, but most of the time, Bitcoin likes to have a flash crash before it's ready to move up. Bitcoin likes to have a flash crash before you find your low here, nice and steady, whatever, you're moving down, and then boom, flash crash, then you're ready to move up, right? It even ends its bear market on, you guess it, a flash crash. It likes to psych people out. It's a test. Will you pass the test? Will you stay your emotions, stay your hand, and not panic sell? Just do if you do panic, or you feel fear, this is a good, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but this is something that I find myself doing sometimes if I ever feel fear or I have those emotions, right? I'm a human being. I've been in the markets now for 9 years, 10 years technically, but doing technical analysis for 9 years. I have fear sometimes, right? It can be intense, man. Even whenever I was calling for that low yesterday or 2 days ago for XCN, whatever it was, I still had some fear, right? Like there's always that emotion, but you have to eat that emotion. And the best way to eat that is to play a little game with yourself. Is if you played it perfectly, if you were some kind of technical wizard and you sold the top and you haven't gotten back in all this time, and the price, you see it drop like this. My question to you is, if you're just this perfect trader, you sold the top here, you haven't gotten back in yet, and you see this happen, my question to you is, would you think, I'm glad I didn't buy, this thing's going to zero? Or would you be like, maybe I should get a little bit in here. Maybe I should lay the hammer down. I should probably back the truck up down here. What do you think your thoughts would be? If the thoughts are, this is a perfect area to buy, that's how you know not to sell. Because the only reason then why you're panicking, why you feel like you should sell, is only because you're holding. And you held from a price that was higher and it's dropping. If you're out of the markets, you'd have no emotion, to be very clear. And I don't know, not everybody's good at playing head games with themselves, or maybe they're too good and they can't see reality. But I feel like I can be fair with myself. And in those situations, it really helps calm me down to think of things like that. Like, if I play this perfectly, if I had capital on the side and I had no skin in the game, would I think this is a good time to put some risk into the markets? And I think so, is all I'm trying to say. At the end of the day, guys, you know where we're going. 74K, 69K, somewhere in that zone. 71 to 72K is my specific target area, just below 72K there. Mine and a couple other people as well. The 4-hour RSI is showing bullish divergence at the moment, but that can easily go away. All we have to do is continue to close down. I would assume that if we close a 4-hour period below, or around 81,000 or lower, this 4-hour divergence would go away. And just because it's here doesn't, just because you've been oversold doesn't mean you can't go lower. You can go lower, and likely you will go lower. And if not, even if you get some bullish divergence here, so what? Even if you pump up from here, so what? You can do that and then still inevitably go down and see the stuff that we're talking about. It doesn't have to be by April 2nd, but I think that it will be. I think that April 2nd will actually be a day that we recover, and going in from there, going into the end of that week, will be a day that will be a week that we recover as well. April's going to be a good month. May and June are going to be good months. The bear market is not alive. The bull market is alive and well. We will see prices at 170K and beyond, likely by the end of May, if not by the end of June. That's my expectations. We'll see how it goes. I've got nothing else for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And just one more thing, right? If you think that this is the low, what is it that we have to see in order to invalidate that, right? At this point, I'm sure it's rather obvious that it's not the low. But if you get below 80,700 today on a closing period, at that point it's inevitable. But I have a feeling that by the end of today, it's already going to be obvious that was not the low. We'll see. If not by the end of today, by the end of tomorrow is kind of my thoughts. But yeah. Also, on another note, if this is the low, how? We didn't. Where's the significance? Here's your last areas of resistance. Here's nothing, right? You're probably going to move lower. That's how it is, right? Just like here, we didn't find support in the middle of nowhere, did we? We didn't find support here in the middle of nowhere, did we? We came down and we interacted quite literally. Our tip of the low came down to this tip of resistance here, went through this area of consolidation. That's what we needed to see. We even went through, going back in time, further areas of significance back here, right? But what we didn't do is stop in an area that didn't make any sense, which is what we're at right now. So lower we go. We'll see you there. Probably, I mean, man, we'll see. It could be, I think it's going to happen within the next 36 hours, but maybe a little bit longer than that. Very, very soon. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Bye-bye.